I want to talk to anyone who is still, whether they are, out of the religion and they believe it's the truth still, whether they are in the religion and believe it's the truth, whether they don't know anything about it, right? But they do, they've heard about Jehovah's Witnesses, they've heard about, Michael Jackson was a Jehovah's Witness, Prince was, and they might think it's the truth, right? They might not even know anything about it, but they just have a feeling, oh, those Jehovah's Witnesses are true. I'm talking more or less about, I know even some family that they don't know, they've never been a Jehovah's Witness, but they believe it's the truth, right? And I'm talking more or less when to say that I'm gonna meet you where you're at today, right? This video, I'm not gonna preach to you. I'm not gonna proselytize. I'm not saying anything that I believe is crossing the boundary. Matter of fact, I'm gonna agree with you to start off, right? I'm gonna start off at the same point as you, and I'm gonna more or less just let you in on my story, let you in on where I'm coming from, right? Maybe we can have some common ground. Let's start off where I'm going to say that I do believe that it's the truth, right? I do believe it's the truth. I felt that it was the truth. That's why it was so hard for me to leave at one point, right? I believed it. I felt it to be the truth. I was in there for 16 years of my life. I found God in there. I found out that, hey, I know how to talk to people now. I know how to I know how to talk in public. I know how to speak, go door to door and speak to people. I know how to believe in something that's bigger than me. That's truth. I believe that I found God in that organization, and I stand on that. Now I'm going to go a little bit to that next point and say that these different destructive forces that I believe are a part of man's system, that I believe that are part of this world, whatever you might want to call it, these destructive forces at play, they might even not even be from man, right? Might be something different. Destructive forces cause me to no longer be able to find God in here. This place of refuge that gave me a safe place. This place that I was able to be myself and be able to feel like I was at home. No, it got snatched away from me. These destructive forces rotted it from the inside out. And whenever I talk about destructive forces, it might be different for everybody. It might not have hit you yet. It really might not have hit you yet. It hit me whenever I was thinking about, shunning or just fellowshipping and no longer talking to somebody, and then watching those people almost or take their lives, full on take their lives. I would consider that destructive. I would consider someone who can't get a blood transfusion and they pass away, I consider that destructive. I consider, not sort of deterring people from getting involved in their communities, getting involved in politics. I would consider that destructive. I'd consider a lot of things destructive in that organization, to the point to where what was once a place for God, for me, no longer there. I can't find God in there. And yet, look, there's a grief in that. And that's going to be wherever it is. I will continue to grieve every single day. I'll continue to grieve. I feel abandoned. I feel Psalms 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? It's one of the only chapters in the Bible that I can relate to at this moment. I'm not saying that's the only chapter I'll ever relate to. I'm not saying that's the only chapter that I related to yesterday or tomorrow. But I'm telling you right now, I feel abandoned. Now, I do see something in the future for me, and I'm sharing this to share it with anyone who is still in and is afraid to leave. What gives me hope is the story of Job. It's another book in the Bible, right? That man was tortured. That man was tortured by God. You can call it Satan. Who created Satan? Who created Satan? He was tortured by God. He was tortured by God. Now, for what reason? That's what gives me hope. For no reason. For no reason at all. No reason at all that man was tortured. So that means that anything that I'm going through right now, if it's bad, if it's good, there's no reason. It's undeserved. If I feel like I'm suffering right now, it's not because I did anything wrong. Whenever I was leaving 10 years ago and I was going through all that, and I was going through all those struggles, it wasn't God punishing me. If you decide to leave and everyone decides to, treat you different and your life goes in shambles, doesn't mean you did something wrong. I thought it did. But that's with me grieving everything right now. That's what I'm starting to see, is that I can feel bad and I can feel grief, and it doesn't mean anything. And I don't mean meaning nothing in a meaningless way. I mean meaning nothing in a personal way. That it actually has nothing to do with me. That it might have a bigger meaning. So I say that to encourage you that if you have to leave and you're going to face tribulations, and you're going to face trials, and you're going to face torturing from God, it may be for your benefit. And it may be for you. And you might not have no clue.